What's up? It's Big Muscle again. We're on the hustle again, and we're gonna get into these tornadoes that's happening over. I think it was Saturday night, between Illinois, Arkansas, Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee. I think total 6 states total together. Now, the thing I want to say about these tornadoes is I kind of saw this coming, in the sense of with the current talks of global warming and unforeseen or newly developed weather patterns. I kind of suspected something was coming, man. Truth be told. And a matter of fact, I talked to 2 people about it earlier on this year. I talked to 2 other people about it because I'm in the Midwest. I'm driving in Utah. I'm in Wyoming, Nebraska. These places I am, right? So being in these places, I started to study the Midwest as far as hazards when traveling over there. Different hazards. I started to study different hazards, and the biggest hazard that I came across, if you're traveling in the Midwest frequently, are tornadoes. This is what I came across. So I started to do some more research, and I found out that, okay, so the tornado alley it's not a defined exact geographical location. And by the way, you can't live in fear, so you still got to carry on with life. You got to do what you got to do. But what I did realize is that at nighttime is the most dangerous. You know, that's what I realized, because I realized that you can't see the tornado at night. You know, a big monster tornado could develop 5 miles away from you, and you're walking right in the path of that tornado, and you'll never see it because it's so dark. A lot of these places are not lit. Okay, so what if it's a tornado though don't have a lot of lightning? You always see lightning flashing in the tornadoes. You know, some people are driving, they're just driving. They don't care where they drive, what they do, none of that. They're just driving and just heads on the road. You know, keep your eyes and the ears on the road, and that's it. So they don't realize what's going on as far as the weather. They think, oh yeah, it's just regular rain, and it's not regular rain. And you usually could tell. In Minnesota's and all these places, you can see, you can feel the tornado conditions. This dry like air feeling. It's a very dry air. You know, it wants to rain, but it don't want to rain. But what I realized, that's not the case. What's going on is there's a huge monster wind up in the clouds, because now the clouds look like they're gonna fall, like they're coming close to the ground, right? So this is how the clouds start to look. The clouds start to look like they're looping towards the ground, and then they start to go in a swirl. Now, if that swirl grabs hold and start to spin, that's it. How do I know this? I've seen it before. I've driven in Minnesota. So I'm in Minnesota driving, and I'm driving through a farm area. I think it was like farm area of corn and stuff like that, right? So I'm driving through this area, and that's during when I started to do the research, and I noticed the air is very still, but there are rain clouds. Then I start to get this on and off rain, drizzle drop, stop, go, stop. I'm like, So I roll my windows down, because that's a good thing that I do. I roll my windows down because I want to feel the air, see what the air is like. And I feel this warm air kind of blowing, but it's not really kind of blowing. But this was during the daytime. So the main thing I realized is that you have to watch these clouds. These clouds start looping towards the ground, and you see they start to go in a swirl type. Now that experience, nothing happened. maybe the wind didn't get to pick up properly, right? It didn't get a good grip to pick up and start to whirl, right? But I kept my eye on that area that I was driving because, okay, so I started to think right away. I said, okay, what if this picks up into a twister? What am I gonna do? Okay, so you gotta start thinking, how are you gonna do if you're driving and you notice that this thing starts to spin out of control? So now with that experience, what I did was just, I kept driving, and then I noticed my GPS was taking me away from the area, right? So pretty soon I was away from that area, and that experience was one experience that I know that, look, these things could happen out here, right? Cool. Okay, experience number 2. I'm in Iowa driving. I don't remember. I was going to Peoria, Iowa. All right, so I'm driving. This is a nighttime. Okay, I hear heavy thunderstorms all of a sudden. Serious lightning start to flash. Right? Heavy thunderstorms. I'm like, first thing come to my mind, now this is a nighttime, right? The first thing come to my mind, yo, you need to check your weather app. You need to check your weather app so you can know exactly where this thing is going, where it's located, how big is it? Is the road you're driving on heading in that same direction where that storm is pushing towards? Because the weather app can tell you all that stuff, right? And your weather app can also alert you if there's possible tornadoes, because they set up these weather apps and all these things to let you know if there's a possible tornado out there, and what areas, right? You got alerts going on. So I'm thinking to myself, yo, right away, I say, this is a serious thunderstorms. But I checked the weather app, I don't see no warning of possible tornadoes. But you know, that's the weather app. It don't have to be right. Right? So what I did, I realized that the road that I'm going on is verging away from the thunderstorm. Anyhow, I got to Peoria, Iowa. Peoria. When I got there, I pulled off, got off the road, stopped. And let me tell you, man, the thunderstorm that came after the fact was so, I thought those raindrops was gonna do something to the vehicle. You know, because the raindrops were so powerful. You know, but these areas are perfect for tornadoes. It's the Midwest. You dig what I'm saying? They're known for tornadoes. It's perfect for tornadoes. The conditions are ideal. And then with the change in weather over recent years, now you're seeing these things more and more. It's not going to be in the usual, what it used to be. Okay, so what? Oh, so yeah, it used to be this. Right? It used to be this, but you don't have to be that. It don't. You know what I mean? It could be anything other than what you think it is. That's what it comes down to. All right. Okay. So that was my experience with weather in the Midwest, and I told a few people. And ever since that, man, I'm extremely careful with the Midwest. Extremely careful with the Midwest and what you do over there, especially at nighttime. That's when you got to be extra cautious. At nighttime, you got to be extra cautious when you're driving in the Midwest, even down in the Kentucky areas. Anywhere that you know tornadoes have possibly developed before in the past is something you got to be wary of. You know, at any area, and even areas that Okay, so now areas that probably never seen tornadoes before, now they're probably seeing tornadoes. You know, or even if they've seen tornadoes, it wasn't of that magnitude where it's so destructive. Now they're seeing destructive tornadoes, massive destruction going on. I mean, look what's happening look what happened in Kentucky at that candle factory, right? And not to mention the other areas of Missouri, whole place is torn up. Arkansas, you see what I'm saying? Torn up with these tornadoes. Now, what they're trying to figure out if the tornadoes was one full tornado, that kind of virgin small, that had different little tornadoes hanging around, or was it separate things that occurred? Because if you look at the geographical scale of what happened, I think in one case they're saying one of these tornadoes traveled over 200 miles, which is very not usual. You know what I'm saying? That's not a usual thing. Over 200 miles. I know tornadoes probably travel 30 miles, 40 miles, 50 miles, and in some cases probably more. But 200 miles, I've never heard of that before. Maybe it's happened before somewhere, somehow. Before a tornado, I mean, traveling 200 miles, is it from where it started out? And then it could probably start out one point, but not do destruction there, but that's where it started. So I guess they would still call that miles. Then they'll probably calculate the distance from the point of origin to wherever, you know, wherever it stopped, whatever happened where, who knows. But I think it's one tornado system. You know, I'm not a tornado expert, but I think, because you got to look at the time that these tornadoes took place. Why, if it were separate tornadoes, why is it that they all took place at the same time? That's what you got to look at. The same time. They're probably looking at it and be like, oh yeah, this is a wide geographical area, so it may be separate tornadoes. I don't think so. I doubt that. I think it's one system that one tornado system, or one system that could cause tornadoes, that contributed to having 5-6 different tornadoes, or however amount of tornadoes occurred from that system. And it really did serious damage. 6 different states, that's a massive area. That means that system had been developed over a wide area, which means that the conditions for that development was very broad. You know, and if you listen to what's going on, there's some people saying, oh, normally places where it used to be like minus this degrees or minus that degrees is now that, or this place used to be warm, now it's cold. This place used to be cold, now it's warm. So for sure, that has something to do with what's going on. For sure. You know, and is that global warming or is not global warming? That's the question. What is it? So when you're traveling, these are things you got to be knowing that these things you got to be aware of when you're traveling in the Midwest, certain parts of Ohio, wherever. I mean, not because of, oh, a tornado alley, so a tornado can't take place nowhere else. Yes, it can. It take place a lot of different places. It's just more predominant in the tornado alley. You know, tornado could take place, I think, anywhere. as long as the conditions are perfect, are right for the tornado to take place. It can occur. That's something you got to look at too. You know, but how do you remedy this problem? How do you fix this? You can't do anything. Okay, this is not something you can fix, remedy, or just patch together, right? It's not the case. You know, the case is you got to be aware of these things. And if you're driving at night and you suspect that these storm clouds or this weather can be dangerous, you know, get out of it. Get out. Don't keep driving. Oh, I gotta get here before this time. That's what you gotta do. So you can finish your vacation, finish your travel, finish your adventure, whatever you gotta do, and get to where you can get to, because it's better to get there late than not get there. See what I'm saying? So that's the thing for those tornadoes, man. All those people who got impacted. Condolences to the family, loved ones. Tragic thing that could happen anywhere at any time. Yeah, so we gotta just learn from these tornadoes and hope they don't recur. But as we all know, they will always occur. In a candle factory in Kentucky, Amazon plant somewhere else, all these places. Yeah. And then again, the next thing I'm wondering is, why is it that these buildings, they don't have like a bunker or tornado, they don't have a tornado safe place to go in? Because it can't just be the bathroom. Oh, this is where you go in case it's just the bathroom. That's not gonna cut it. You know, that's not gonna cut it. These places need to have solid tornado-proof places. They got all these employees working in these places. I mean, these warehouses are big square buildings, like a box. You know, so once the roof drops, that's it. There's nothing you can do. Once the roof drops, there's nothing you can do. And the walls are just long, straight walls. They're not solid structures that could stand up to the winds. They're flat and broad, which its flat surface provides a good impact. So as soon as the wind touches that flat wall, the wall goes down, here comes the roof. See what I'm saying? That's a part of the tornado. So that's something to think about and something to look into, and ask the people that you work with, you know, yeah, we saw what happened in these 6 other states. What do we have in case something like this happens here? Because eventually you got to safeguard yourself. You know, the job is always going to be there. Don't worry about it. You got to safeguard yourself and make sure these people are able to safeguard in case there is an emergency, right? All those people impacted. I saw one guy crying. I think he couldn't find his wife. They've been married for 20 years. They have kids. Stuff like that. These are the things you got to look at and come to understand. I think the guy was saying that he was rescuing other people, but come to find out he can't find his wife. You know, hopefully he find his wife. Hopefully he find his wife. Bless his soul. Well, you see, the thing is, unplanned and unexpected things could come up anytime, right? traveling, always be aware. That's the key thing. And I saw a truck on the road, another truck down the road flipped over, all this other stuff. Emergency crews are out. They've been working. They're still working, doing all this stuff. But you see, the thing is, you got to look at this thing for what it is. And what it is unpredictable, very unpredictable, undecisive part of nature that there's nothing you can do about besides if you hear it or see it before it see you can take action. But if you don't hear it or see it before it see you, your chances of doing anything about anything is very slim. So that's something to think about. All right, so that's pretty much it. That's all I have, man, for about this tornado. Take all the precautions you need to take, because there could be more. They don't usually occur around this cold seasons, but they could occur. More could occur, because don't go with the regular pattern of weather. Don't do that, because why? The temperatures change around the world. The world temperatures are changing. So you got to change also, and you got to think, okay, well, I could get a hurricane in wintertime. It's possible. You could see a hurricane come probably in January. You never know. Expect anything from this. This is a good learning factor. So like I said, that's all I got to say about it. And once again, this is Big Muscle. We stay on the hustle. Peace out. Catch you in the next video. Remember to subscribe, hit the notification bell, share it with a friend, family member. Until next video, peace.